I finally plugged in the heat tape. It was after the latest snowstorm, and it had been so warm all November, I just didn't think we needed to. And then we were already into December, and I just didn't feel like it. But on Saturday, after a Friday sleet storm, I crawled underneath the back porch, and seeing the cord from last year was exposed to the wet, and my beloved green egg container for the wires was open to the elements, I first texted Brian in the kitchen, who was on the phone with our friend Stephanie. "I'm under the house," I wrote, plugging in the heat tape. "It's wet. If I don't come back, I was electrocuted. Also, Nora needs another walk." I had some paper towel in my pocket, so I was able to wipe things down and plug it in, and we're good for another year. This heat tape needs replacement for sure, though. As you know from previous episodes, it wraps around our partially exposed sewage pipe that comes out of the house into the ground, and if that ever freezes like it did long ago our first year, it's a septic backup disaster. This season is feeling very utilitarian for me. As my mom noted a few weeks ago, it's been years since we stopped having our family Hanukkah party, which was an event going on 50 plus years. A local friend had to cancel her annual latke party because of COVID and flu going around. And like in the Fagelmans, if you watch the movie, we're the one house on the street without Christmas lights. So what do I do to get in the mood and keep my spirits up? Well, I put on some music. Some of my favorites, probably of yours too, is Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen, Light One Candle by Peter, Paul and Mary, Happy Hanukkah by Modest Yahoo, and Last Christmas by Wham. The lyrics to Hallelujah, though, really get me. I know it's more about a breakup than these end-of-the-year festivals, but I just can't get the lyrics out of my head this time of year. Now, I've heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing Hallelujah. Isn't that great? The heat tape, though, it does its job too. It keeps things warm, even during a freeze.
Down in the valley, moved up from the city. It's a new way of living and I'm trying to get used to it. One park poodles have an ounce of an idiot. Ordered a Manhattan and they call me a Cidiot. At first I hurt my feelings, but it's kinda got a ring to it. When you move to the country, they can tell when you're new to it. I'm looking at a place, but I'm trying to keep fitting in. It takes too long to be a local, so for now I'm a Cidiot.
I'm Matt Zucker, and this is Cidiot, learning to live and love life in the Hudson Valley. What a season! I'm exhausted. When I switched to bi-weekly from monthly for Cidiot, I didn't really do the math on what that would mean. 25 episodes in this season 5. That's a record for me. It started with the release of the new Cidiot single, which I'm so thrilled I did. I never produced a song before, and the Cidiot spirit certainly inspired one. Thank you, Ben and Paul, aka El Sueco and the Don. This season we had a lot more towns and geography, as far south as Newburgh and as far north as Saratoga. We talked to a lot more small business owners and organizations, including Comfort and Joys, The Daily Catch, Design Grind Cafe, Hamilton and Adams, Pinkwater Gallery, and more. And a lot more community players and personalities, including Allison Chawla, Osun Zotique, Alissa Hessler, Kathy Stevens, and Elizabeth Sobol, the president of the Saratoga Performing Arts Center. Really played around with content too. 3 bookstores in the area helped me with audio recommendations of Hudson Valley books to check out. Also, Robinson Greig sent in news from the farm. Taconic Toastmasters Club did an expert critique of the show. We did a ticket giveaway with SPAC, and sponsor Scott Hasty of Parties Agency took on a Q&A about insurance for Cidiots. Probably my favorite thing, of course, is the animated music video. The video version of the song is up on YouTube, a new channel for Cidiot to try. If you haven't seen it, you can find it on cidiot.com under video. In April, I did something else new. this time in person. I taught a Podcast 101 workshop as part of the Hillsdale Workshop Weekend. A dozen people showed up to learn how to create their own shows, and it was great. Maybe we'll all hear them on air soon. This was all paired with what you didn't see, a plan. Yep, I actually took my own professional advice that I do for clients, and I wrote a marketing plan for Cidiot. It was very specific, with goals to hit in terms of listeners, revenue and investment, followers and types of channels, formats, and other things I wanted to try out. And it worked. Cidiot is ending 2022 with about 55,000 listens of all time, an average of 600 listeners per episode, 450 in the first 30 days of an episode going live. That puts the show in the top 20% of US shows, or something like that. It's incredible. Instagram passed 1,000 followers, which was a goal, but it happened 4 months ahead of time. And Cidiot.com as a website has grown a lot. I put a lot more time in the blog and search topics, and the traffic has been on the upswing all year. 3,000 new visitors this year. That's about up 70% from 2021. That Festival's Guide to the Hudson Valley is the top performing blog post by far, and so is the post about co-working spots in the Hudson Valley and Catskills. Then there are the charts, which I'm starting to follow. GoodPods, a really cool podcasting platform, has Cidiot regularly in the top 20 of a few indie categories. Number 6 in top 100 indie places and travel. Number 99 in the top 100 indie society and culture chart. GoodPods, by the way, is a great platform to discover podcasts if you're looking for that. It's more like a little social network than just a listening platform. Apple charts, I keep falling out of the top 100 in the US, but last week I was number 19 in Argentina. Must be Lionel Messi, or maybe my friend Mariella's family. Okay, you know awards are an unavoidable topic for me. This year was a mixed blessing, with the Chronogrammys coming in tied for second runner-up. What a terrible phrase, especially since you know Brian is the one that runs. He ran the New York City Marathon this year, by the way. I'm more run-walk, but still it was amazing to get recognized, and I think if it weren't for coming in second and wondering who beat me, then I wouldn't have reached out to both Kathy Stevens at Catskill Sanctuary and Brett Barry and his Catscast podcast, which came in first. Kathy was an awesome guest on the Sanctuary episode, and with Brett, I did my first crossover event in which we interviewed each other. Now there were other bright spots. Cidiot's music won a silver at the W3 Awards for Best Use of Original Music and Sound Design, and as you know, Cidiot is a finalist for the Signal Awards in the Lifestyle category. Thanks to all who voted. We'll know in January what happens. And the big news I just shared on Instagram, Cidiot is now trademarked. That's right. I think it was a year ago I started the process with the U.S. Government Patent Office to trademark Cidiot for streaming, music, entertainment, and I can't remember what else. You pay by category, and it finally went through. So now you'll see a little R sometimes next to Cidiot, and that means it's official. Sorry, I'm exhausted, even sharing all that. The thing you got to ask yourself, and I ask myself, is, do I pivot while I'm ahead? A previous boss I still revere once taught me that the time to change is when you're at your peak. It's when you have the most options, he said. Too many people try to evolve when they're at the bottom and their back is to the wall. I don't know. I always figured if I was ready to dramatically shift Cidiot or evolve, I'd have a plan. And the only plan I have right now is a marketing plan. So yeah, I think there's a few more eggs in this chick, a few more cheese in this cow, a few more brays in this donkey. After the break, I'll share some things to look forward to on Season 6 of Cidiot. Cidiot is supported by Sunflower Market. With stores in Woodstock and Rhinebeck, Sunflower Market brings our communities whole health products we can feel good about, serving to the people we love. Sunflower works with local farmers and businesses to provide a large selection of clean and sustainably sourced food, high-quality organic produce, and all-natural products, so we always know where our food comes from. Brian and I pop in for groceries all the time, and especially when we're having people over. Sunflower Market. Long live local. Thanks, Sunflower. A plot of land. Yep, I'm going to be a farmer. Well, through Four Corners Community Farm and historic Red Hook Winters Auction, I'm going to be a farmer. Don't tell Brian, but I bid on like 20 items. I do this for our auction at work too. I tend to get outbid, probably because I'm cheap, so I go wide. Two things in the historic Red Hook winter auction that I missed out on though were having an ice cream flavor named after Cidiot for a week at Fortune's Ice Cream in Tivoli. That would have been amazing. And the other thing was I lost DJing at WKZE, which would have been super cool, despite my lame musical taste rooted in 1980s light rock, ballads, and Broadway. What I won, though, you'll also benefit from: a garden plot at Four Corners Community Farm. In the early spring, I'll go over and get oriented at the farm and see how to prep my plot. I am overalls ready, and you know I'll share whatever I learn with you. Speaking of land, I've been approached by a service that helps people buy land, so I'm looking into doing an episode and providing a guide on buying land. That would be cool, right? I also have a big list of stories I want to do. Driving upstate is one. That was suggested by 2 different listeners. Apparently some city folk never had their license, so when they get up here, they have to learn. Sounds like it would be hilarious. I'm also waiting to see what happens with sponsors, if any from this year renew or new ones approach me. Open to suggestions if you have any for sponsors, and I can share the media kit with interested folks. My thank yous are numerous to give this time of year. In the city, there would be parking lot staff, or doorman, or super, and the laundry. Up here, though, it's the people I see and depend on the most. FedEx, UPS, our 3 postal carriers, plus people who deal with the garden, who plow us out in the snow, the cleaning service, Nora's dog walker, and of course, very important in the country, garbage pickup. I also have to thank my clients, company, and teams at work for putting up with me, especially since half the time that I should be talking about strategic marketing and growth consulting, instead I talk about Cidiot and the latest episode or scheme I have going. My guests have been terrific and fun. There's a full list in the show notes and episode page, plus content partners like Greig Farm and Hudson Community Incubator, and sponsors such as Scott Hasty at Parties Agency, Sunflower Market, Taconic Toastmasters Club, and Hudson Valley Kitchen Design Center. You kept the tape rolling. The biggest thank you, of course, is to everyone and anyone that tunes into these episodes. I'm sure you never know exactly what to expect, but I hope you expect good things and get it, since I appreciate you. This little show has become a voice of the Hudson Valley. This past week I was quoted in 2 different pieces in the Times-Union about Rhinebeck's evolution, as well as podcasting in the Hudson Valley and Catskills, and I shared my list. There's so much innovation in and love for this whole area. There's so much to discover and share so that you and I can make the most of it. Thanks for a great Season 5. I'll be back before long in 2023. Stay tuned in by joining the newsletter and following on Instagram. Happy New Year. Come visit.
Down in the valley, moved up from the city. It's a new way of living and I'm trying to get used to it. 1 pot noodles, half an ounce of an idiot. Ordered a Manhattan and they call me a Cidiot. At first I hurt my feelings, but it's kinda got a ring to it. When you move to the country, they can tell when you're new to it. I'm looking at a place, but I'm trying to keep fitting in. It takes too long to be a local, so for now I'm a Cidiot.
Upstate and chill.